It is 2 o'clock in the morning. The whole house is dark, but your brain is fully awake, replaying every worry from the last 10 years. You are doing that 3 a.m. math, calculating exactly how many hours of sleep you have left if you fall asleep right now. If you have been staring at the ceiling since midnight, listen carefully. This is not just aging, and it is not random. There is a biological reason your eyes keep snapping open at this exact hour. And tonight, I want to show you how to shut that system down. Many people are told that broken sleep simply comes with getting older. That is not entirely true. Yes, sleep changes with age, but the kind of disrupted, frustrating, middle-of-the-night wakefulness that leaves you exhausted the next day is not something you are automatically doomed to accept. What is happening in your body at night can often be understood, and in many cases improved, with the right strategies. There are 7 things quietly damaging your sleep. Some of them are happening right now at 2 o'clock in the morning. Some of them already happened earlier tonight, before you even got into bed. And one of them may have happened yesterday morning before you had your first cup of coffee. To improve your sleep, you have to understand all of them. So let's begin with what is waking you up right now. At this moment, one of the main systems involved is your stress hormone, cortisol. Cortisol follows a daily rhythm. In younger adults, it typically stays low during the night and begins to rise closer to 5 or 6 in the morning to prepare the body to wake up. But in adults over 60, especially those carrying chronic stress or a long history of poor sleep, that cortisol rise can begin much earlier, sometimes as early as 2 or 3 a.m. And when cortisol rises, your brain becomes alert. That is exactly what cortisol is designed to do. So if you wake up at 2 a.m., it does not necessarily mean something is terribly wrong with you. It may mean your stress system is running on a shifted schedule. The problem is what happens next. The moment you realize what time it is and start calculating how little sleep you have left, your cortisol rises even more. Now your brain is not just awake. It is solving problems. It is preparing for tomorrow. It is anticipating fatigue. It is managing a perceived crisis. And sleep does not happen when the brain believes it is in crisis mode. That is why the harder you try to force yourself back to sleep, the more awake you often become. You are not failing at sleep. You are fighting your own biology with the wrong tools. The first thing you need to stop doing is looking at the clock. That may sound too simple, but it is one of the most important changes you can make. The moment you look at the time, your brain switches from rest mode into calculation mode. It starts thinking ahead. How tired will I be tomorrow? How much sleep am I losing? How will I function in the morning? That mental activity feeds wakefulness. Cover the clock. Turn your phone face down. Remove the time from your immediate environment. This is not about denial. It is about removing a trigger. If your brain does not know the time, it cannot keep running the numbers. It cannot build the story that tomorrow is already ruined. Your alarm will still go off when it needs to. Until then, the exact time does not help you. Now let's talk about the immediate reset you can use tonight. Start with your breathing. Breathe in slowly through your nose for 4 counts. Then breathe out through your mouth for 6 to 8 counts, making the exhale longer than the inhale. Repeat that pattern again and again for 2 minutes. This is not just a general relaxation exercise. A longer exhale sends a signal through the vagus nerve, which is one of the main pathways of your parasympathetic nervous system, the system responsible for rest and recovery. When you extend the exhale, you help activate the body's natural braking system. Heart rate slows down. Stress signaling eases. Brain activity softens. It is one of the fastest ways to tell your nervous system that the threat has passed. Do this before you reach for your phone, before you get out of bed, before you do anything else. Just 2 minutes of a 4-count inhale and a 6 to 8-count exhale. Give your body the signal it has been waiting for. Now let's move beyond the 2 a.m. moment itself, because some of what is waking you now was set in motion much earlier. One of the most overlooked factors in sleep is body temperature. To fall asleep deeply and stay asleep, your core body temperature needs to drop by about 1 to 1.5 degrees Fahrenheit. That drop is not optional. It is one of the biological triggers for sleep. When it happens, your brain can move more smoothly into deep restorative sleep. When it does not happen, you stay in a light, fragile sleep and wake up more easily. Many bedrooms are simply too warm. A room temperature that feels fine while you are awake may be too warm for stable sleep. For many people, The ideal sleeping environment falls somewhere around 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. If your room is consistently warmer than that, even by a few degrees, it may be interfering with your ability to stay asleep. There is another powerful temperature-related tool: a warm shower or bath about 90 minutes before bed. That may sound counterintuitive, but here is why it works. When you step out of the warm water, your body pushes heat to the surface of the skin. As that heat leaves the body, your core temperature drops more quickly. That faster drop sends a strong message to your brain that it is time for sleep. Many people notice that they fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer when they use this timing consistently. Another major sleep disruptor may be sitting right above your head in your own home: bright overhead lighting in the evening. Most modern LED lights emit a blue-white spectrum that closely resembles daylight. When that kind of light hits your eyes after sunset, it signals your brain to reduce melatonin production. Melatonin is the hormone that helps tell your body it is time to sleep. So even if your body is trying to wind down, your lighting may be telling your brain that it is still daytime. A simple fix is to stop using bright overhead lights after about 8 p.m. Switch to lamps with warm, amber-toned bulbs, ideally around 2700 Kelvin or lower. This warmer light interferes much less with melatonin. It gives your brain a better chance to build the natural sleep signal it needs. Now here is something many people never realize. Part of your ability to sleep tonight was shaped by what happened yesterday morning. Your brain contains an internal clock that depends on one critical signal each morning: bright natural light shortly after waking. That light tells the brain what time the day has begun. Once it receives that signal, the body starts a timer. Roughly 14 to 16 hours later, it begins preparing melatonin release for the evening. If you wake up and remain indoors in a dim room, your internal clock may never fully synchronize. That means your nighttime melatonin signal may be weaker or mistimed. You may lie in bed at night wondering why sleep does not come easily, not realizing the problem began with a lack of morning light. The good news is that you do not need a sunny day. Even on a cloudy morning, outdoor light is dramatically stronger than indoor lighting. The solution is simple: get outside within the first hour after waking for about 10 minutes. If going outdoors is difficult, sit near a large, bright window, or consider a properly designed light therapy lamp. Morning light is one of the most powerful ways to anchor your sleep-wake cycle. Now let's talk about 3 additional issues that often go unmentioned. The first is magnesium, particularly magnesium glycinate. Many older adults do not get enough magnesium, whether because of diet, age-related absorption changes, or certain medications that reduce magnesium levels. Magnesium helps regulate GABA, one of the brain's main calming neurotransmitters. When magnesium is low, the brain may struggle to fully settle down at night. That can show up as racing thoughts, light sleep, or repeated awakenings. For some people, magnesium glycinate taken before bed may be worth discussing with a healthcare professional, especially if sleep has been poor for a long time. It is not something to start casually if you have kidney issues or medication concerns, but it is absolutely a conversation worth having. The second is tart cherry juice. Research has shown that tart cherry juice may help improve sleep efficiency and total sleep time in some adults with chronic insomnia. Tart cherries naturally contain melatonin-related compounds and may support the body's own sleep chemistry. This is not a miracle cure, but for some people, it becomes part of a useful sleep routine. The third is something called conditioned arousal. If you have spent months or years lying awake in bed, your brain may have started associating the bed itself with wakefulness, frustration, and effort instead of sleep. That is where stimulus control becomes important. The rule is simple: your bed should be for sleep, not for thinking, scrolling, worrying, or reviewing the day. And if you have been awake in bed for more than about 20 minutes, get up. Go to another room. Sit quietly in dim light. Do something calm until you feel genuinely sleepy again, then return to bed. This helps break the learned connection between your bed and wakefulness. At first, this may feel inconvenient. It may even seem like it is making the night harder. But over time, it teaches the brain an important lesson. Bed is for sleep, not struggle. And that retraining often produces more lasting results than quick fixes that fade after a few days. The most important thing to remember is this: you did not earn broken sleep simply because you got older. Yes, biology changes with age. Hormones shift, sleep patterns evolve. But chronic broken sleep is not a sentence you are required to live with. The biology behind it is real, and so are the solutions. What many people have been missing is not discipline or effort. It is clear, practical guidance. A real explanation of what is going on inside the body, and what small, targeted changes can begin to reset the system. So start simple. Start tonight. Cover the clock. Breathe with a longer exhale. Cool the room. Lower the lights. And tomorrow morning, step outside into natural light as early as you can. You do not need to fix everything at once, but you do need to start interrupting the cycle. One small biological correction at a time. Your sleep is worth protecting, and your body may respond faster than you think once you start giving it the signals it has been missing.